tuning in. I want to thank you all ahead of time for your kind comments and your encouragement. I'm here at the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier area in front of the Prince Resort, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm going to go ahead and zoom on out a bit, just pan on around and show you where I am. I come here quite often. It's such a beautiful area to do what I get to do. People come from all over the world to enjoy the beauty and majesty of creation here. And because we live in a creation, that indicates that there is a creator. Hey, thank you for coming by. Appreciate that. I add to my deep learning AI research library often throughout the day, and some of the topics are so hot I can't really elaborate on them on this live stream. And they're not just YouTube videos. They may have, I have links in my comment thread on the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars document, which will elaborate on quite a bit more than I could say here. So there will be BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey videos and more. Different websites, playlists, platforms, and all of that. From neuroscience to dietary and, well, the nature of our reality, all of that. So with critical analysis and critical thinking, what I encourage people to do is to consider how accurate is their perspective or mine. I do that every day, throughout the day and night. Operating in flow states is pretty amazing. It's an intense or heightened level of awareness that comes from a heightened level of focus. So one of the explanations for that, or examples of that, would be an athlete who's operating at a very efficient, effective level, and that can even be extrapolated into our daily routines and activities. How do we do what we do, and why do we do it? And so some of the different vocations that deal with dangerous settings, it's extremely important to be highly focused, or you can be injured or killed depending on what the activity is. That is so gorgeous. So we have clouds behind the sun quite often at sunrise here. We live on a stationary level plane. That's why there's no curvature on the horizon, and no movement has ever been proven. Ever. So for the haters that say things like, "Do you even science, bro?" Oh yeah. Yeah, I use it as a method of inquiry, investigation, to see if what I'm believing matches up with what's actually there, what we're actually looking at. So I had heard the term axiomatic before, and Elon used it in a tweet. This was a bit more than a year ago, and I had to look it up. It means self-evident. basically axiomatic, is self-evident. So one of the caveats to that, he's been heard saying in an interview after they launched the Starman, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake. Gaslighting at its finest. We're being lied to on epic proportions. We have technology that can clean and power the world with water. There's more energy in a gallon of water than a gallon of gasoline, and Stanley Meyer developed and or discovered a way to extract tremendous amounts of energy from the water. The water is a fuel. Good morning. Some of the people that walk by have seen me here for years. They just gave me a friendly greeting. How nice is that? So one of the things I would like to illustrate here is the fact that there's very little breeze blowing, and because of that, we've got the marine layer down low. That could be run into an engine, and during combustion, it's going to have a cleaner combustion because of the oxygen and hydrogen that are right in that moisture. Now, what Stanley did was molecularly disassociate the oxygen and hydrogen from the water, molecular disassociation with very little energy input. That little cloud layer that was, well, it's spreading out, and now the wind is picking up quite a bit. So you may hear that. It may get to be too much. But once again, we can see the sun is in the midst of the clouds, not 93 million miles away and 1.5 million Earth sizes. For those of us who see it, well, we can't unsee it now, can we? So, yeah. And you can reach out and call me anytime. Phone number's easy to see. I've got it located in a lot of different locations. So on a comment where somebody is hating on me, like I'll drop in on a comment on some of the space fakery and expansive cosmology, and I'll say science fiction. I'll just do that, and then they a lot of times have a profile with no content on their YouTube channel, and they'll want me to explain the complexities of the cosmology of the stationary level Earth. And I'll invite them to explore my deep learning AI research library. Give me a call if they want to. The give me a call, I quite often will say call or text anytime. And the reason for that is because, well, it shows I'm not hiding behind a keyboard. I'm out in public quite often. Not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That's unusual in a world that's loaded with fear and deception, corruption and intimidation. The parasite class could no way pull off what they're doing to humanity if more of us would rise up. That's largely why I'm doing what I'm doing. See the footprints in the sand there? They'll go away. Oh yeah. I prefer calling them parasites rather than elite. I've believe that's more accurately descriptive. I'm going to see if I can have a little bit more acoustic protection of my mic. It was so still, there was virtually no wind, and now the wind came up. So, see what I can do here. So in the truth community or research community where we're exposing the reality of what's going on, what I would say too is that the truth and the deception commingle. They're next to one another, and effective deception has a lot of truth in it. Fancy words, supposedly credible speaking points or presenters, people with large platforms. I've got them on my channel, in my library. My research library encompasses more than a playlist. It's basically what I've put together on the different platforms that I'm either on or will be on. I'm not on the X platform anymore because Elon permanently banned me. Imagine that. Apparently, he wants to develop a platform that has a powerful presence of truth. Interesting, isn't it? Ban the truth guy? Why would that be? And one of the things that he mentioned is that the computer system or algorithm should give preference towards curiosity with the intention of discovering the truth about everything. I find it ironic. And I'll continually appeal to my determination to be permanently banned. So it's a direct link to the computer system that's monitoring and manipulating humanity. One of the ways to cross over the digital quarantine is with the Truthmobile and my presence out in public, and I'll keep doing that. I remember getting the recommended video about the water car. It blew my mind to see Stanley Meyer driving around a car that was running on water. And then there's Troy Reed that had a magnet motor car that would run on a little 12-volt battery, and the power generation that occurred from accessing the zero-point energy field, which Stanley Meyer did as well, and Joseph Newman, and John Hutchison, and John Christie, and on and on and on. We've got cancer cures that are in my research library, as well as cancer causes. It's easier to keep a body healthy than to try and fix it when it's been poisoned. There's a lot of ways to poison a body. They've been very creative with that through atmospheric dispersal, weather modification technology. So technology put in the food, water, and air, activated with electronics and information. We are a bioelectric, biochemical entity living in a physiological body with the soul, spirit, consciousness, and then chemicals are released based on emotional responses. And then we've got the hydrochloric acid and other mechanism to masticate and dissolve nutrients. Masticate is like chewing it up. I'll use a high performance blender, a Ninja Foodie, and turn it into a slurry. I talk about the different detoxification protocols that I have. That's really important. Another one of them would be intermittent fasting, which cleans up the body. So for example, this morning I was getting ready and I thought, I need to go to the bathroom. And I did, and there was blood in the water, and that may appear to be bad. Not necessarily, though. And the reason why I say that is because it could have been a cleansing of my digestive tract. I did have a heaping tablespoon of coffee grounds that I had yet to brew. I brewed them up in my gastrointestinal tract, in my stomach and beyond. So it's unusual. However, I run a cleansing protocol that involves bathing in highly purified reverse osmosis, electrolyte enhanced drinking water. The electrolytes are as follows: a tablespoon of boron, which is borax, baking soda, magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salt, chlorine dioxide, 7 drops of each of the 2-part liquid, apple cider vinegar, and lemon juice. And this morning I used So salt. It's from the Mediterranean Sea. It's a full spectrum, very pure sea salt. And then there's, you can use Celtic salt if you like. In the water, then I've got a ground wire from my electrical system from the ground going into the tub, which provides the earthing or grounding feature that reduces inflammation, helps blood flow. The water is, I bring the water up to about 107 to 111 degrees. And then I'll end up putting a 50-50 blend. I've got it in a stainless steel bowl with a resealable top. Organic coconut oil and organic castor oil. Mix it together, put it on my face and on my hair. And when I shave, works real good for lubricating, softening up the whiskers and the skin. I've exfoliated with nylon exfoliating gloves. I'll use a towel like this to scrub a little bit more. It's what I'll dry off, wring out, dry off again, and wring it out. And then, because I've leaned back and let the hot purified electrolyte enhanced grounded water go into my sinuses, and I'll draw that mucus on in there and spit it into my container that I'm rinsing off my shaver in, my Gillette Pro Glide, without any celebrity endorsement. What it does is it gives my face that youthful elasticity, and I'll massage my whole body, all the tissue, the ears, and all of that. What I did too is I took 7 drops of each of the towel is to mitigate some of the wind sound, just so you know. What I did too with the chlorine dioxide blend, it's a 50-50, 7 drops of each with a splash of that hot purified water. I put it on my finger and in my ear because there was dry skin there. It seems like a lot of the dead skin cells that come off of my body come from my ears for whatever reason. Then the other thing that I did is put that in my in my groin area for jock itch, on my toes where I had a little toenail activity, discoloration I didn't like. It brightens all that up. I had a blemish on my skin, like not exactly like a pimple, but it was a cellular growth that I didn't want there anymore. So I will pick at it, shave the top of it off, and then put the chlorine dioxide, and it goes right away. Being who I am and what I do, there's absolutely no way I would want to go to a hospital and have them do a biopsy and test me. No way. I don't trust them. Imagine a comedy routine where the humorous topic, tongue-in-cheek, would be the doctor acknowledging, yeah, it looks like you're going to need treatment. I've got these. He's not going to say it like this, but many of the doctors are compensated very well for prescribing chemotherapy drugs. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of their electromagnetic MRI kind of magnetic resonance imaging of my body, my head, none of that. I don't approve of their type of medicine at all. It's been created to manipulate and subjugate humanity. Good morning, Mel. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, it looks like you're getting around really good now.
I'm trying to get out here every day.
Good for you.
Put in the work, build up the endurance, run the race.
Sounds good. I've got you on a live stream right now. Hey, so it'll be up there unless they take it down. But hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
Hey, good to see you. Thank you.
Have a great day, Rob.
You too. So I've seen Mel progress in her ability to get along with less use of the crutches. So part of what happens here is relationship development, seeing people that come out here on a regular basis. Got my couple of friends out here surfing right now. The pelicans are on their way over to the inlet down there where they're going to go on the sand bars that are going to show up. The tide's going out right now until, I believe it's 11:33, something like that. Like clockwork. It's just how it is. It's how it works. Works wonderful. Look at her now. How cool is that? She's not using the crutches at all. So some of what ends up happening for us, as I'm sure you're aware of, is the difficulties that we go through help us develop into the people that the Almighty wants us to be. So I see opportunity where I used to just see difficulty, growth opportunities. How do we deal with what we have to deal with? How are we going to overcome that? And we help others overcome their difficulties as well. I believe so. I believe that's possible. And it's happening all around the world. What's going on? So that's what the big coat looks like with the long shadows. Notice how the sun follows the eyes of the observers. You're looking at a simulated reality, unless you're right out on the beach looking at me out here. In this setting, up on top of the building there is a online camera right in the middle of the view, visible from all over the world, potentially with an internet connection that works. We've been told that there's going to be difficulty with cyber attacks and that kind of thing. I would say expect it, prepare for it, have food and water, a way to protect yourself, your family. Not so much just to protect your stuff, like material items aren't a huge, what would I say, a priority. However, life-sustaining food and water and that is important. So we have responsibilities. It's biblical, I believe, to take care of our stuff and our responsibilities. I have a responsibility, as best I can tell, to continue to do this, to continue to expose the truth about everything that I found out about. The system of control creates the purchasing power out of thin air, hands it around with very little discretion, apparently now, with handouts and giving bombs and bullets and missiles away to bad actors. I'm not a fan of the wars. I'm totally against the war-based economy. It's criminal. What's going on is, I believe, criminal, crimes against humanity. It's asymmetrical warfare. It's not just in the Ukraine and Palestine, Israel. It's all over the world. It's a war between good and evil. The Almighty and our family, the Holy Spirit lives in and through me and all of His children that are actually born again. And I believe the elect angels as well. And then we've got the fallen one and his family, the demons, the fallen angels, and whatever he can insert himself in. So the short version is Satan will use who and what he can, and the Almighty will use it all, including Satan and his family. He uses it all, everything. How cool is that? I'm so grateful for that. And we were created to be here at this time for this purpose. And wanting to see a team of God's family be raised up, and they need to know that what's going on, I believe, is very important. And in the modern community of Christianity, there's a lot of people that may falsely believe that they're born again. They may not be or never be. I don't know. I don't make the call. That's above my pay grade, of course. Paul's letter to the Corinthians says, examine yourself. I believe it's Corinthians. Examine yourself to see if you're in the faith. So there's a lot of people playing church. You can give away money, do good deeds, all that kind of stuff, and it can be in your own strength. It was for me. I was, so I'm whoops, that's not what I wanted. Cancel it. So I got something up on my screen once again, and I don't know how to undo it. It's like a filter. Anyway, what I was going to say is I was spiritually deader than a hammer and did not know it. I didn't know. So I thought what I believed I was born again. I believed I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. That being said, I believe it's extremely important to go ahead and I found the thing I was looking for. I brought up this filter that I really didn't want. It was just I touched something on my screen and it did that. I have a video about Bible changes. Let's see, I've got some kind of a, maybe a filter. I don't know if it's a filter or not. I don't want a filter on here. Let's see, what do we have? I think that looks good. I'm just about done with the broadcast. So Jesus Christ is also known as Yeshua, Yahweh, the Almighty, the Creator, the Living Word, the Living Water, the Great I Am, the Alpha and Omega. Goes by many names and many titles. I hear His Word day and night, and as important as hearing His Word is, having the discernment of the Holy Spirit is priceless, to be able to recognize what I should or shouldn't do, where I should go, all of that. He knows the end from the beginning, and so He's all-knowing and all-powerful. Wow. And He'll give all the access that we need, all the access that He wants us to have to the information, the power available to us is virtually unlimited, only limited by His will for our lives. So rather than me try and do stuff to make God happy, the Almighty happy, I just wanted to find out what He created me for, what He wanted me to do, and then rely on Him to carry that out. So it's an absolute perfect fit. So He allows difficulties in our life for our spiritual development, and there's a lot of moving parts in this, a lot of lives interconnected, and so that's a huge part of what's going on. Ultimately, to accomplish what He intends to for His glory. I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, it looks like I added some kind of a filter on that I didn't want. Okay, so no filter. Okay, so I just clicked on no filter, and now we should be back to just the way that it looks to me as well, with my eyeballs, not looking through the camera. They match up really good. There you go, local sun. I see it a lot. I've got a video, many of you know, that have been following me for a while. That was one of the things that happened, is that I captured a video of the sun appearing to be in the clouds, where I was talking about the satanic mind control that humanity was being inundated with. The other reality that I mentioned, that in the book of Joshua 10, God stopped the sun and the moon from moving. Well, and then He got them going again. He didn't stop the earth from spinning. If He did, He would have said that. Hi there. Oh, nice. Animals can pick up on the vibe people give off. Look at the shadows. Isn't that cool? Watch what happens when they walk through the light beam, how it follows them. Hey, thank you so much. I see names on the live stream of friends that I've talked to on the phone. I really appreciate the encouragement and the friendship and fellowship. So it was interesting. Last night I went for a drive in the little Truthmobile. I took the surfboard off. Today I scrubbed it up early this morning. And anyway, last night when I went out, I found out that there was a street concert and that was going on, and I just chose to stay at home. Now, the system would normally have expected me to be out on a beautiful night like that in public. It's not that I was afraid to go out, I just didn't want to. And what I want to illustrate is that sometimes that's enough. I don't have to have it can be where the Lord helps me to either want to do something or not do something. It kind of works like that. Because there's a lot of issues and choices that we will make that maybe don't have a real right or wrong that's obvious. However, there's nuances to it. So it goes kind of like this. The letter James wrote, he said, if we do that which we believe we shouldn't, we sin. And also, by omission, if we don't do the good that we know we ought to, or we believe we should do, we sin that way too. So it's a matter of following the leading of our conscience when the Lord directs us to do or not do, go or no go. It can be like that. So this should be a pretty good view of what happens to the shadows when the people walk through the light beam. When it's low on the horizon, it's more obvious. But it's like a laser beam coming across the water, and when it gets higher in the sky relative to our perspective, it gets a lot wider. Watch how the shadows pivot. I think that's the way it looks. See that? See how that works? I think that's pretty cool. Look at that. Wow, look at the angle that is now. Hi. How nice. So imagine if you had all the stuff, all the money and all the stuff. What would you do with it? What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? That's a lowrider there. It was funny to watch him go through the soft sand. He was bottoming out. How adorable. Seems pretty happy to be out there. I'm happy too. So, here you go. This tapestry of truth gets really complicated in that there are truth tellers that have some things wrong. Could even be me. I acknowledge that. I don't claim to have it all figured out. I know who does, and he lives in and through me, and all of his children that are born again. It's not that I'm not saying I'm the only one. Some people might think it's pretty proud to say I'm exposing the truth about everything. It's true. It's a developing story. This information is continually being updated. Also, because of the events that are going on in our world, it gets really complicated. So let's see what it looks like around here now. Huh. As recently noted in the news publicly, they're having problems in Dubai because of excessive rain amounts, and they've acknowledged weather modification that they've been doing. They're calling it cloud seeding. We've got technology that uses HARP type technology, the NEXRAD radars, the cell phone towers, and the mesh network Skynet that's all around us, modifying the weather and the people for fun and profit and control. It's a control mechanism. So a lot of humanity is pretty much remote controlled. They don't know it for the most part. And one of the things that happens too, I don't know how much influence that system has on me as a child of God that's making an effort to do just what He created me to do. And I encourage all of us to do that, to be the person He wants us to be, a willing vessel to do what He created us to do. I believe it's what this is all about. The temple of the Holy Spirit is humanity. He lives in and through His children. And then apparently Satan lives through his children. So even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So he's standing behind pulpits and in seminaries, and could even be in your house through one of your family members. I don't know. So with all of that, the stakes being so high, I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. This is Robert Forsch exposing the truth about everything. Thanks for your help, sending me links, giving me calls, putting info in comments. There you go. Feel free to reach out whenever you like. Thank you so much.